Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the third edition of Enterprise Ireland UK Cybersecurity Innovation Series. For those of you not familiar with Enterprise Ireland, we're the trade and innovation agency of the Irish government and largest seed investor globally by deal flow. Our goal is to build successful long-term business relationships between international partners and Irish innovators. We have a network of over 40 international offices that support thousands of Irish businesses in their efforts to internationalise. And despite global disruption and uncertain trading relationships, the UK remains Ireland's largest trading partner, and our London and Manchester offices are proud to continue the strong trading relationship between Ireland and the UK. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah McNabb. I'm based in our London office, and I'm the UK and Global Overseas Lead for Enterprise Ireland's Cybersecurity Cluster. I work with over 50 cybersecurity innovators, ranging from early stage startup all the way to large companies employing thousands of people across Ireland, the UK, and globally. We have 7 of these companies taking part in today's session: Akiro, Cyber Risk Aware, CWSI, Fiduwave, Tynes, Voltry, and Waterford Technologies. These are a really exciting group of companies that are looking at areas such as low code, no code, BYOD and connected devices, cybersecurity awareness and training, data management, and encryption as a service. There's been a real interest in these companies recently, with many receiving significant investment from both Enterprise Ireland and global investors over the past few months, and they're providing technology and solutions to blue chip brands, including Coinbase, Vodafone, Network Rail, NHS, Standard Chartered Bank, McKesson, BT, and Heineken. So before we kick off the innovation showcase, I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Ali Baghdadi, who will be opening the session with a fireside chat. Great to have you, Ali.
Great to have you too. Thank you very much for having me, Sarah.
So Dr. Ali is Senior Vice President of Ingram Micro and Global Executive Sponsor for Cybersecurity. Ingram Micro is a Fortune 100 tech giant and largest B2B tech distributor in the world. Ali himself is a leading global voice and business leader in the cybersecurity industry and is also a serial entrepreneur, having sold his company Aptec to Ingram Micro in 2012. And this year he was awarded the prestigious title of Entrepreneur of the Year by Imperial College London. So, Ali, delighted to have you. We might just kick off by telling the audience just a bit more about yourself.
Hi, Sarah. So firstly, again, thank you very much for having me today. I took my master's degree and a PhD in computer science from Imperial College in London. I simultaneously started my first company, Aptec, in London, which built and provided technology and software and security solutions. The company expanded into Europe, Middle East, Africa, and eventually I sold Aptec to Ingram Micro back in 2012 and joined them as a senior vice president to further develop the value-added distribution and cybersecurity across Ingram Micro's entities worldwide. Yeah, that's what I did.
Great. And so could you firstly tell us a bit more about Aptec and also how the idea came about and also Ingram Micro and your role within the company?
Of course. So you see, when I was doing my PhD, part of the funding for the research I was doing was by building technology and microcomputers that controlled X-ray microanalyzers and other devices. And in order to generate the funding for research, I had to actually go and sell these technologies and ideas to companies like Cambridge Electronics and Kamika in France. So I found that I can actually create an idea and sell it. So I was at the same time determined to develop technology that helps people, hence the term appropriate technology, Aptec for short. The college actually encouraged me to start a company, and I did while I was doing my PhD. And started by designing technology, again, added value technology to existing leading technology. So I worked with Apple, I worked with Japanese companies, and eventually things took off really fast. And since then, I've been always looking forward, like, what is the technology that's likely to come in next? And also, what do customers need? What do people need? How can I make their lives easier? And this has been my journey for the last 40 years, always developing and delivering technology that helps people. And here we are. So Aptec, which was a baby company that started for £100, today delivers more than $1.5 billion of revenue.
Wow, exciting stuff. So actually, I meant to mention at the beginning as well, for the audience, if you have any questions for Ali, please pop them in the Q&A box and we'll hopefully answer some at the end. So moving on then to Ingram Micro, and obviously you sold Aptec to Ingram Micro. What's your role with Ingram Micro today, and can you tell us a bit more about the company itself?
Of course. So Ingram Micro is one of the largest global IT distributors, selling solutions through partners to end users. We reached the revenues of almost $50 billion, and we exist in nearly every country in the world today. We deliver a full spectrum of technology solutions and supply chain services to businesses around the world. We help businesses realize the promise of technology. That's our motto. We've made significant investments in building our cybersecurity globally, which made us a leading solution provider in this critical segment. Personally, I'm an executive sponsor for our cybersecurity strategy globally, and I've supported Europe, Middle East, Africa in building the security business. So I established centers of excellence in 3 locations across Europe that supports our entire EMEA, Europe, Middle East, Africa geography, and they are based in Holland, Belgrade, and Dubai. But then every country in Ingram Micro has established a team and an organization that sells, supports, and delivers cybersecurity solutions on behalf of our vendors and suppliers. Some we've built, like we did in the UK, for example, and some we actually had to go and acquire, like the company we acquired in France, and also service companies we acquired in UK and Ireland, and service companies in Holland. So determined to invest in this segment in a massive way.
Great, thank you. So now moving on to the UK landscape. So obviously the past 18 months have obviously been at times incredibly tumultuous, but also really exciting and dynamic. How do you think the past 18 months have been for the industry? How have things like the global shift to working from home and Brexit impacted the sector?
Absolutely. Things have changed dramatically over the last year and a half or 2 years since the pandemic hit the world. I mean, over the last year or so, the attackable surface of most companies and individuals expanded considerably to include living rooms, home networks, and personal phones, and the use of virtual meeting and information sharing platforms, Zoom, Teams, WebEx, BlueJeans, and even WhatsApp, and the increasing reliance on cloud-based software resulted in the network of traffic to change beyond recognition. I mean, a research conducted last month shows that 65% of CISOs surveyed in the UK fear that their organization will be experiencing a material breach just in the coming year. Imagine that, 65%. But why? Chief Information Security Officers, the CISOs, they cannot see the full picture. Erratic employee behavior, personal devices, home network reduces visibility and creates blind spots and dark corners where attacks can go undetected. Another challenge, of course, we have in the UK is the shortage of skills. There's a global shortage of cybersecurity skills, and Brexit would have only made things worse. And in the UK and Ireland, almost 30% of cybersecurity available jobs currently remain unfilled. And this is a global phenomenon, actually. Yeah,
30%. Yeah, I think this whole skill shortage piece is across every industry, but particularly in this space. And I actually think a couple of the companies pitching later are going to be addressing a couple of the topics you mentioned. So yeah, really topical. Sorry, continue.
That's really important. I mean, the Brexit factor, of course, initially there's been fears that post-Brexit, the UK may lose the cooperation of the European agencies and data security authorities. However, in May of this year, a significant step was achieved when the newly negotiated EU and UK TCA, the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, and its complementary SIA, the Security of Information Agreement, came into force. So things are being recognized, and some helpful steps are being taken. The National Cybersecurity Center, which is a non-aligned public service organization, I personally find that their advice is extremely helpful and easy to understand language-wise. It addresses all kinds of categories. So actually, if you visit their website, you'll see that it answers many questions of an individual all the way to an enterprise segment or so. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually the NCSC, we also have one in Ireland as well. And would you be very familiar with the Irish cybersecurity landscape?
To a certain extent, I believe Ireland has made some important strides in supporting cybersecurity firms and service providers too. For example, 6 out of the top 10 global cybersecurity companies have presence in Ireland. 5 universities offer affordable master degree courses in cybersecurity. I'm connected, as you know, to Imperial College, so I'm always looking out for who else is providing this. There are several government and semi-government organizations that address cybersecurity for Ireland, including the NCSC, which we just spoke about, IDA Ireland, and Cyber Ireland. Also, I read about a recent Irish government announcement of a package of measures to strengthen the NCSC's cybersecurity incident response team. It's known as the CSIRT, I think, something like that.
Great. Yeah. Well, I mean, we work closely with Cyber Ireland and the IDA, so it's great to hear they've got a bit of international recognition as well. I actually think we've got a couple of people from Cyber Ireland on the call today. So,
oh, brilliant.
So yeah. So moving on to 2022 now, what do you see as the kind of key trends and challenges in the industry?
Yeah, this is what we look at all the time. So hackers now are taking advantage of artificial intelligence and even as a service software. Offensive AI will learn and adapt. It will direct attacks and working out where the most valuable data lies. For example, AI manipulated voice messages or even live calls. Someone's voice and accent can be the same as someone you know. We call this phishing. A recent incident resulted in a bank losing $35 million just using phishing, actually, which is terrible. I put that on LinkedIn some time back. Worse still, using deepfake, AI and machine learning, I can be and look like someone else completely. We saw a significant rise in ransomware being used by cyber criminals to block access to your own data and demand ransoms. Criminal gangs encrypt the files in your system so no one can read or access them, and they hold it captive until a ransom is paid. With the advent of the Internet of Things, where everything is connected, bad actors can also target new and target big infrastructures. Recent events like the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack in May of this year have highlighted the need for a proper protection of infrastructure. The shutdown actually that was caused by Colonial affected consumers and airlines along the east coast of the United States. The hack was deemed a national security threat in the United States by President Biden. I also saw we were researching an attack called by RAS. RAS is a ransomware as a service by a gang called REvil. And I was delighted yesterday to find that REvil gang was busted, actually, and $6 million were recovered. I mean, it's a very interesting scenario here.
Yeah, I saw that actually. So I'm conscious we're speeding through this. So before we move on to the audience Q&A, do you have any tips for Irish SMEs that are looking to partner with an organization like Ingram Micro?
So, of course, if we look at customers or suppliers, there are two different things. So a customer, a partner in Ireland will have the opportunity to leverage a comprehensive and extensive portfolio of products and solutions across the entire IT spectrum, including strong cybersecurity focus. So our cybersecurity centers of excellence deliver training, security assessments like penetration testing, consultancy, pre and post sales services, etc. So Ingram offers a range of very attractive logistical services, financial services, marketing services to our partners. So all this is available to partners. Our Cloud Blue platform offers opportunities to partners and to independent software vendors, ISVs. So as a partner, once registered, they will have access to a portfolio of SaaS, IaaS, PaaS subscription-based applications on our marketplace. And a reseller can white label our platform using our syndication program. It's called MAS, Marketplace as a Service. As a software vendor, as an ISV, a software vendor can enter discussions to become also a cloud-based vendor. This can be fully integrated through APIs, which will enable automated transactions and provisioning, or by using what we call our swivel chair. It's a similar process which would enable faster onboarding, but less automation. Anyway, we can share information and contacts for anybody interested to reach out, and we will do our best to help. So we have a strong presence on the ground in Ireland, and that will help you.
Yeah, thank you, Ali. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm happy to share details of Paul Kelly's. He's the Ingram Micro manager for Ireland, and we can share details of this after the session.
Thank you.
So we might just quickly take a couple of audience questions. Clodagh, I think we probably only have time for one or two. If you'd be able to share them, thanks.
No worries. Yeah, we have a few interesting questions coming in, Ali. But the first one here is, with an ever-increasing pace of development, the mass migration to public clouds, a large security skills gap and resource shortage in product development teams, what methods or tools do you think organizations should employ to ensure that they are as secure as possible?
Thank you, Clodagh. That's a long question.
Long question, yeah.
I mentioned earlier that almost 30% cybersecurity jobs remain unfilled, and this applies globally. So we are looking at figures in the millions. Colleges, universities, schools have a role to play here. Also, I see the development of tools that automate some of the manual processes that cybersecurity professionals do will enable more to be done by the same expert in less time. I see some exciting examples using AI to accelerate manual processes and assessments. So I can talk about education, services, and technologies that will help protect companies. It is best to contact us, and we'll provide meaningful advice to any company that needs it.
Great, thank you, Ali. So we might just quickly do one more question, Clodagh, because then we're on a pretty tight schedule. I think we should have time for just one more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next one is, how do you envisage the future of data protection and the role of encryption in this space?
Okay, so of course, encryption already plays a major role in on-premise data and data transport. I refer here to HTTPS, for example. All companies need to secure their sensitive personal and secret data, be it on-prem or in the cloud. So many cybersecurity data backup and data classification vendors provide encryption as part of their solution. So a standalone encryption solution needs to have some unique features or advantages. For example, the AES 256 is an encryption technology that is less likely to be broken and is approved by the US government for protection. So looking forward to hear more about that from some of your vendors, I believe, are present here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Very timely question. Okay, great. I mean, I've seen a couple of other questions come in, but unfortunately that is all we have time for. But Ali, thank you so much. It was really insightful.